Hello and welcome to 7 Days of Science, your weekly source for the latest science news. In the headlines this week, a new species of marine reptile named the Sword Dragon has been discovered, revealing the brutality of life during the Jurassic. A new species of bone-headed dinosaur has been named the Thunderdome. The mystery of how the moai walked to their current locations has been solved, and much more. Before we get into the main stories, do be sure to watch to the end of the video to watch us unbox this season's Curiosity Box. Thank you so much for supporting this episode. We've got some very exciting news from the world of paleontology this week, starting with our top story, the discovery of a new species of marine reptile, an ichthyosaur. This creature lived during the early Jurassic period, some 193 to 184 million years ago, and is named Xiphodracon goldencapensis, meaning the sword-like dragon from Golden Cap. Ichthyosaurs, often called sea dragons, were a diverse group of reptiles adapted to aquatic life. Xiphodracon has a remarkably long and rather sword-like snout filled with small, slender teeth ideal for catching fish and cephalopods, and its skeleton is exceptionally well preserved. The fossil was first found in 2001 by a collector named Chris Moore on the Jurassic coast of southern England. It was excavated from the cliffs near Golden Cap, an iconic hill close to the towns of Charmouth and Lyme Regis and the highest point on the Jurassic coast, as well as being a favourite fossil hunting spot of mine. The specimen was later acquired by the Royal Ontario Museum in Canada, where it remains today. Xiphodracon is particularly significant because of the precise age of the rock layers in which it was found. It lived during the Pliensbachian stage of the Jurassic period, an important yet poorly understood time for ichthyosaur evolution, as fossils from this time are rare worldwide. Many ichthyosaurs are known from the stages before and after the Pliensbachian, but Xiphodracon helps to fill this gap in the fossil record. Interestingly, Xiphodracon is more closely related to Horpheopteryx, an ichthyosaur genus that lived in the late Pliensbachian and in the following stage, than it is to ichthyosaurs that lived before the Pliensbachian. So together they've been classified as a new group, called Horpheopterygia. The Xiphodracon skeleton also preserves numerous interesting injuries that this animal sustained during its life, including deformed teeth, a fractured clavicle, and possible necrosis of the bone inflicted by swimming up to the surface too rapidly. The skull also preserves evidence of a bite inflicted by a large predator, which likely resulted in the death of this individual. So Xiphodracon is a wonderful new addition to the ichthyosaur evolutionary tree, and this poor, rather beaten up skeleton tells a fascinating story of the violent and sometimes painful lives of these amazing marine reptiles. Also in the paleontology news this week, a new dinosaur species has been named. Meet the Thunderdome, Brontotholus harmoni. It's a new kind of pachycephalosaurid, the famous dome-headed dinosaurs, and its genus name literally means Thunderdome, which the paper explains is both a reference to the 1985 film Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and because the paleontologists nicknamed one of the localities where the fossils were found Beyond Thunderdome. Gotta love paleontologists and their names for new species. Anyway, it's an appropriate name for this animal considering that the 5 fossils it's known from are all fused frontoparietals, the bits of the skull that comprise the domes of pachycephalosaurs. 4 out of these 5 known specimens were found in Montana, in the late Cretaceous-aged 2 Medicine Formation, while the 5th one was unearthed in Alberta in the Oldman Formation, of similar age, making Brontotholus about 75.5 million years old. Very interestingly, 3 of the specimens from Montana had been first reported in the early 90s, but were not named at the time. The presence of an unnamed pachycephalosaur in this formation was used to propose the hypothesis that a direct evolutionary line could be drawn from the geologically older Stegosaurus to the younger Pachycephalosaurus, with the species now called Brontotholus being an intermediate missing link in this transition, a mode of evolution called anagenesis, in which one lineage evolves directly into another over time. This new study aimed to test this hypothesis by examining all 3 pachycephalosaur species and came to the conclusion that Brontotholus does not neatly fit into this anagenetic scenario, as it was found to be distantly related to the other 2, overturning this older hypothesis. Brontotholus adds to the known diversity of these dinosaurs in North America and is actually now the 3rd largest pachycephalosaur from the continent, showing that the lineage achieved large body sizes even earlier than previously realized. What a brilliant new species. But that's not the only new dinosaur species named this week. We've also got a new species of very early theropod, which has shed new light on how this iconic group of reptiles evolved. It's called Anteavis crurilongus, and it was uncovered in the Ixigualasto Formation of northwestern Argentina, rocks which date to the late Triassic, roughly 231 to 226 million years ago. This formation has been key to working out how early dinosaurs evolved, and Anteavis is particularly significant because it was part of the first dinosaur diversification, when these animals initially began to speciate into many new forms. This eventually led to their dominance in Triassic terrestrial ecosystems towards the end of the period. Anteavis is known from a partial skeleton including a good amount of the skull, and is an early diverging member of the theropods. Interestingly, it displays several features seen in more advanced neotheropods, suggesting that some traits previously thought unique to that group were actually more widespread. Anteavis and the other fossils reported in the paper demonstrate that dinosaur diversity and abundance in the Ixigualasto Formation were even greater than previously thought, and that these early periods of dinosaur diversification were punctuated by distinct climatic changes, after which larger-bodied species appeared. A brilliant new discovery. Up next in the paleontology news, it turns out that hippos survived in Central Europe well into the last glacial period of the Ice Age. The idea of hippos living in Europe is hard to imagine, but hundreds of thousands of years ago, this was not an uncommon sight, as fossils of Hippopotamus amphibius have been discovered in these regions, the same species as the living hippos that exist in Africa today. Generally though, it was thought that hippos in Europe died out after the last interglacial period, ending about 115,000 years ago, as the world transitioned into a colder and harsher glacial period. Now though, researchers have dated various hippo remains found in southwestern Germany and discovered that actually they persisted here until just 31,000 years ago, deep into the last glacial period of the Ice Age. These late surviving European hippos seem to have belonged to a small isolated population that managed to hang on in this part of Central Europe for much longer, as this particular part of Germany acted as a refuge from the harsher conditions elsewhere. Alternatively, the hippos may represent one of several recolonizations of the area during more favourable times. Either way, it's a fascinating new discovery, and now you know that hippos used to live in Germany. Some archaeology news next, as researchers have said that they can finally confirm the walking hypothesis to explain the movement of the giant moai statues of Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island. There are many hundreds of these monoliths around the island, but just how they got from the quarries to their current various resting places has been a matter of great debate for some time. The two most prominent ideas have been either that they were moved lying down on some sort of wooden device, or that they were walked around the island, still standing upright and rocked towards where they intended to be. A nearly 5-ton replica moai was built and walked forwards by 18 people using ropes, travelling 100 meters in 40 minutes, proving it can be done at a reasonable speed. The authors say that previous attempts have recreated incorrectly proportioned moai, and they challenge those who still deny the walking hypothesis to dispute the findings of this new paper. We look forward to seeing what replies the archaeological community might have, and whether or not we can one day say that we've put this remarkable mystery to bed. In other news, our solar system's third ever interstellar visitor has been gathering a lot of attention this week, after its initial discovery at the beginning of July earlier this year. The study of objects that make their way from outside our solar system and into the realm of our own sun's influence can be immensely important for understanding what objects outside of our system are like, which can pave the way to helping us understand how planets form and even how life begins. Well, last week, ESA's Trace Gas Orbiter, currently in orbit of Mars, took a peek at this new interstellar object, named 3I Atlas, as it passed close by the red planet. This is not the orbiter's intended purpose, so it struggled to get a particularly good picture. But that's not all that's happened with Atlas recently. In September, scientists presented work that used the discovery of Atlas and the two other interstellar objects discovered since 2017 to suggest that this abundance of interstellar objects passing through our solar system could mean that there would be enough of these objects traveling around the universe to potentially facilitate planet formation around stars with a similar and greater mass to our own. Also last month, it was revealed that there had been water activity detected on Atlas. Having found that our first interstellar object detected, Oumuamua, was dry and the second, Borisov, was rich in carbon monoxide, The discovery of water pluming out of Atlas adds to what we know about the potential variety of these interstellar visitors, and naturally, the questions we have about them. We'll continue to update you on the progress of Atlas as scientists try to gather as much information as possible from it. And now, in other news, a quick mention of SpaceX's Starship 11 flight test that took place on Monday. It was a very similar test in mission and success to the last one, with both the Starship vehicle and the Super Heavy booster landing in the ocean as planned. Perhaps the greater importance of this test is that it comes as the last of the current generation of Starship and Super Heavy, with SpaceX focusing on bringing in the next generation of craft into testing to complete orbital flights, operational payload missions, fuel transfer, and more. Also in the recent science news, the Nobel Prizes for Physics, Chemistry, and Physiology or Medicine were announced, and so we thought we'd give a brief rundown of each one here. For physics, John Clark, Michel Devoret, and John Martinez were awarded for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit. What this means is very basically that they were able to show via their experiments that the properties of the realm of quantum mechanics can also be observed in the macroscopic world. Specifically, they were able to show that quantum tunneling can be observed at a large scale and involve many particles, not just single particles, as they created a superconducting electrical system that could tunnel from one state to another by crossing a barrier. For chemistry, Susuma Kitagawa, Richard Robson, and Omar Yagi were awarded for the development of metal organic frameworks. Metal organic frameworks, or MOFs, are a class of extremely porous materials with vast internal surface areas, making them perfect for storing large volumes of gases and working as catalysts. These large internal cavities mean that even a small amount of these materials can be used to store huge volumes, so they've been described as kind of like the TARDIS in Doctor Who. MOFs were first developed in the 1990s and have been used in a wide range of applications, with many more potential uses foreseen as well, such as carbon capture efforts. And for physiology or medicine, Mary Brunkow, Fred Ramsell, and Shimon Sakaguchi were awarded for their discoveries concerning peripheral immune tolerance. These three scientists discovered a class of immune cells known as regulatory T cells that prevent the immune system from harming the body. These cells act as a sort of brake on the immune system that prevents it from reacting too much, keeping things in order. The discovery of this T cell subtype has been groundbreaking, creating a foundation for new treatments of cancers and autoimmune diseases. Some incredibly well-deserved prizes then. A huge congratulations to everyone who received an award this year. Finally, for the news this week, a major new report released a few days ago has revealed that warm water coral reefs are the first of several major Earth systems to reach their climate tipping point, a point marking a stage of no return when effects become irreversible. Warm water coral reefs are facing unprecedented decline from mass bleaching driven by warming oceans and human-induced stressors. Bleaching is when corals expel the symbiotic algae that provides them with nutrients, oxygen, and vibrant colors. January 2023 saw the start of the fourth global bleaching event in the past few decades, affecting an estimated 84% of the planet's coral ecosystems. The thermal tipping point for corals is around 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, a temperature which has already been exceeded. Even limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, a target set by the Paris Agreement, is projected to lead to the near total loss of functional coral reefs. In order to protect remaining reef ecosystems, global temperatures would need to be reduced below 1.2 degrees Celsius and ideally return to 1 degree Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Local stresses like pollution, overfishing, and poor coastal management make things worse. So improving reef protection, restoration, and local conservation is absolutely critical if we want reefs and the life they support to survive. The report also discusses other tipping points that the planet is approaching, such as the melting of polar ice caps and land permafrost. It also highlights some positive tipping points, such as the ongoing shift to solar and wind power, which have the potential to result in runaway benefits to the biosphere. If you want to learn more about our planet's tipping points, then look out for a video from my mum's channel, One World, due to be released next week. And now we're at the end of the video, so it's time to unbox the full Curiosity box. I've also got my Vsauce merch on.
He has, he's got a t-shirt.
Yeah. So what's in this one? We don't know.
We don't know, that's why it's an unboxing.
Yeah.
A card with all the stuff on, secret.
Is that a spoiler? No, that's a
secret.
Ooh! Okay, now, as a paleontologist, I am always in need of a tape measure. I don't know what it means by 4-dimensional tape measure. That's interesting. But
Time?
I have broken my fair few of tape measures, so this could be useful.
That's a very thick one, isn't it?
It's hefty, yeah.
That is a big boy.
To measure time.
Time! So, I am going to open whatever on earth the bleeding heck this is. InQ Practical Slap Brace. Oh, you remember slap bracelets?
I love those. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, it's a pendulum. So you set it to a second.
That's why it's so hefty.
Yeah, and then you hang it off the edge of a table, and you let it go, like, and that's why it's got this bit, the weird thing there.
The what?
You let it go. Let's see, does it just work like this? And we go.
Don't do it in my face.
Right, that was probably a second. Wow, 2 seconds is... Wait, so to here? Okay, that's 2 seconds worth of tape. So, wow, interesting. So when I'm measuring some strata, some geological sequences, I can also... Oh, that got me. What is that? Anyway, yeah, I can hang this off a rock and we'll find out how old the rock is by how much the pendulum swings. That's science right there.
3 custom-made slap bracelets to embrace curiosity with a 90s vibe. You love the 90s, don't you?
I wasn't born.
Neither of us were there, but you're a big fan of the 90s nonetheless.
What's this?
Archimedes
Ostomachion. That's the
Bracelet 3, so this is the one you've got at the moment, is for time travellers. If lost in time, simply note where you are, cross-reference an appropriate treasure, shipwreck or long-lost book, then reveal the location to prove that you're from the future. That's so interesting. I've had so many conversations with friends about like how you would prove you're from the future.
Yeah. There you go. There's a timeline of ships and treasures and books. So you find out...
Treasure, shipwreck, or long-lost book.
Well, what if you're really far back, like, say, the 8th century, and then you've only got, you've got all of this time with the Sutton Hoo ship burial. So there's a lot of time where you might not know. You could be anywhere from 600 to 1500. So it doesn't help you in that case. If you
no, it doesn't. You need to work out when you are first. But once you've worked out when you are, then...
That's really fun.
That is quite fun. Yeah. Once you worked out when you are, you can then work out when you need to be.
Okay. Wait, so
where you need to be. And this one, bracelet 2, which...
it's just a ruler.
Is a ruler. Yep, that's a ruler. I'm glad we've got one normal thing.
And that's the diameter of a cylinder. That's cool.
Oh, that's what it is.
What's the diameter of your wrist?
2 inches.
So this is really fun to play with.
It's just under 2 inches.
5 centimetres.
Just up, so it's 4.5 centimetres.
Yeah.
Is the diameter of my
that's
wrist.
what it, yes, looks like.
Wow. Should we see, what's the diameter of your wrist? See if it's bigger or smaller. So mine's 4.5 centimetres, pretty much exactly. Yours?
Depends, where did you measure from? Was it right? Right.
Oh, it was left wrist, but...
Yeah, there we go. That's really tight. So it's...
4.5 centimetres?
Yeah, about the same.
We have the same size wrists.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow. And I can now tell you that the length of your forearm is 26 centimetres.
Yeah, to the joint.
So note that down, people who are trying to clone Ben. I know you're out there. 26 centimetres for the forearm and 4.5 centimetres diameter for the wrist.
And you won't find the other measurements.
That's really fun. I really like doing that.
Shirt. You're feeling left out.
Yes, I am. I haven't got a shirt.
So...
I have, but it's not the right one. Let's find out what this is. I don't know if you can see it in detail, probably not, but I'm going to tell you what's on it.
The flat. Oh, it's different modes of time travel?
Types of time travel t-shirt.
That's cool. I was going to say it's the Flash. I noticed that. Multiverse, the Flash.
Ever wonder what kind of time travel you're experiencing? A handy reference shirt to help you figure it out. Featuring a graphic illustration of 7 of the most common types of time travel in fiction. Where's Doctor Who?
It must be in there. I've noticed Interstellar and Planet of the Apes are both time dilation. That's pretty cool. There's got to be some Star Trek in there, I would assume.
Star Trek's there, Star Trek 2009.
2009, branching timelines, that's right, because the Narada goes into the Kelvin universe, destroys USS Kelvin. That's a branch timeline.
I'm not sure Doctor Who ever gives a damn about its time travel.
I know Star Trek as well definitely has quite a few different times. There's definitely some time loops. Yeah, there's some time loops in Star Trek.
Austin Powers?
What is this?
I don't know.
Oh, a siphon. Siphon straws.
There
we go. There's Michael, Vsauce. Fill container with water or whatever. Insert the long end of the the giggle jiggle siphon into the liquid. Hold the giggle jiggle siphon and jiggle it vigorously up and down until liquid begins flowing out.
You're giving us one each?
I guess so. Do you want to try out first?
Yeah. So this is the normal straw. Insert the long end of the jiggle.
Yeah. You just put it in. I believe you just put it in, jiggle it, and it should start.
You do that? Is that what I'm doing?
I think so.
Oh.
Is it doing it?
I don't know, but the picture's changed.
They're going to wonder what's going on in the offices next door.
That's so true. You're getting there, whatever that was. Oh, keep going, keep going. I shouldn't say that.
See if this one works. Yeah, that's working much better. Okay, it was not an issue with the straw, it was an issue with us. Oh,
yes! It's working!
Look at that. Yeah, a bit more came out. No, maybe just not as gifted with the giggle jiggle. Must be it. Anyway, well, that was cool. Well, we saw it work.
I feel like we're missing something with it.
I mean, mine was working pretty well.
But look, water has come from that glass into that glass.
We didn't touch the glasses. We didn't tip it or anything. Anyway, I really do want to get to the book because I've had a glimpse and it looks absolutely beautiful. It is called Animal Architecture. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Well, I think it's examples of animals building things because in here it says, humans aren't the only species that build things. From beaver dams to conch shells, animals have been constructing shelters for millions of years. Featuring incredible images by award-winning photographer Ingo Arndt and text by internationally recognized bee expert Jürgen Tortz.
A bee expert?
Yeah.
I wish I was a bee expert. Look at that.
I was going to say, it looks like a weaver. We saw those in South Africa, didn't we? Some of them?
Maybe?
I think.
I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Look at that. I like that one. It's a really funky one. I'm like a child. I picture books just get me.
Yeah, this is really, really nice photography.
Wow.
Compass termite. That's crazy.
That's
amazing. Look at that. It
literally
looks like a graveyard. Like
these are all termite mounds.
I mean, we don't want to spoil too much, but let's just skip. Oh, that's really nice. It's an orb weaver. Wow, this is really interesting. Well, anyone who likes wildlife and animals, which
beavers!
I assume is most people watching this video, definitely would recommend this. Wow, what a box. I mean, yeah, I said it was hard to beat last season's one, but this is...
It's good.
It's really
good. I love the time travel bracelet. Yeah. That's really cool. It's a really cool idea.
I could take this out into the field to measure some fossils, some sedimentary sequences, whatever I have to do, and then I can measure the time by the pendulum swing. So use code 25Ben and you get 25% off your first box.
And
click the link in the description.
Click the link in the description.
Use the code 25Ben.
Then use the code.
Yes, and it helps to support the channel. You get some really cool stuff. You get this beautiful book. You get the Giggle Jiggle siphons. You get slap bracelets.
What did we do wrong with the siphons initially?
Well, I didn't do anything wrong. I got it out. I giggle jiggled correctly.
He's not going to let me forget about this.
I'm very good at jiggling vigorously. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed this week's news, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, see you next time for more Curiosity Box.
Well, that's it for the news this week. I really hope you enjoyed learning about everything that's happened in these last 7 days of science. Be sure to email us at 7dos.stories@gmail.com if you have any research you'd like to see us cover, or if you want to let us know how we can improve the show. You can follow 7 Days of Science on Instagram and TikTok, and also be sure to support us on Patreon if you enjoy what we do here. As always, a big thank you to our patrons, including Andrew Kawam, Kang Yin, Chippy Chippy Chappa Chappa, Clara Middleton, Dean A. Bather, Diana Hernandez, Drov Shrivastava, Gabriella, Gary Arrington, Giotist, iRage, Jeroen Zidovic, John French, Joseph Ree, Josh Lambert, Corey Peterson, Lena Rose, Mark Nevin, Matt Grandis, Mendicant Fryer, Mike Pace, Monitor Man, Nicholas Jork, Ralph Balzac, Robert Prepajika Jr., Robert Thomas, Sammy Petrikis, Steve Bradshaw, Thomas F. Conroy III, Timothy N. Tedrow, Tracy Merrifield, and Troy Schmidt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
It's dripping quicker, look, look, look! Oh my God, look at that! I feel so accomplished.